So I discovered something today. I was having some trouble. My air conditioner, I just noticed, wasn't performing like it used to. So I was coming out here just kind of looking around. I had the engine running and I was kind of checking the temperature of these pipes. My first inclination, well, maybe this valve wasn't closing off and I was getting hot water going into the air box. Of course, this weird design that we have our heating. We have our radiator that does our heating for us in the top. It lays like horizontally, and then we have the evaporator for the air conditioner. It stands up vertically down in the bottom part of the box. So if you have hot water going through it, it's just going to kill the performance. So I tested that valve. It was doing its job. But while I was out here monkeying around, I noticed I had my hand back here and I noticed I felt cold air. I said, wait a minute, why have I got cold air coming around? So I got to digging a little bit more, and way in the back I could feel a blast of cold air coming around between this metal plate and this plastic box. So then my next step was pushing on the box, and you see what happens. See if you can tell a little bit better here. Can you see how much it moves? I'll get this camera in the right spot. So it's quite loose, and because when I push up on it, then the cold air would stop. So I said, okay. My first concern was that the back of the plastic box had broken out. I think that has been a problem on some units. I thought, well, that's going to be a nightmare to change. But I got lucky, so let me show you what I found inside the RV. Okay, inside the RV, now I've already disassembled it, but I'm going to kind of show you what I did to get here, because we've got this little kick plate here where our vents are. It took a few minutes to find the screw because it's buried in the carpet. So, well, in fact, actually, to start off with, I took the speaker out thinking I could gain access from the top, and that didn't really work out so good. So I dug through the carpet, found that screw, because another way you can do this is by feeling on the back side. When you feel the sharp screw coming through the bracket, you'll have a rough idea where it's at in the carpet. And then to remove it on the back side, I just took these two screws out because there's no way to access that screw because of this table in the way. So anyway, I got that out of the way. It was easy enough. And I went ahead and took the blower loose. It was just a few screws. I just wanted to inspect it anyway, make sure there's nothing hung up on the wheel. Because sometimes you can get leaves and stuff in here, and that'll kill your performance. That came out easy enough, just a couple of screws and one connector. All right, so now I'm going to show you the trouble spot. If I can stand on my head, you can see we've got a total of 4 screws. We've got one here, and see from the factory they put some kind of goo on it to keep it from coming loose. We've got one at the bottom, one here, both on the sides. You got 2 on each side. Let me come around to this side. You see there's one there and one there. So I found both of these on the left were loose. The ones on the right were tight, but the real culprit was the one at the top. Let me see if I can get you up here. Focus. Yep, there it is. That one right there, you can see it had backed up about 1/4 inch. So there's a total of 5 screws. That top one had come way out, making it loose. So it's just a 7/16 nut. So get your 7/16 wrench or a deep well socket. That's what I'm going to use. I'm going to snug that up. So I'll take care of that problem. But let me go back outside and discuss something else. Alright, so I did a little research to figure out what I was dealing with on the inside. So this is a picture of the back half of that plastic case. And you can see how it's made. It's kind of made where a screw fits in there. Actually, this picture is actually upside down from its normal position. So that one right there, that's the one that's come loose on us, because it should be rotated the other way. Just the picture was posted upside down. And here's another picture. And this is a website's called comfortairgr.com. I did talk to the guy there. He said there's not a whole lot of parts left. These are sold out now. So it's important that we find this problem, get them snugged up in case because if this breaks out on you, I don't believe these are available any longer. They've got them on the website still as photographs, but I believe they're going to be a soon to be obsolete item. I think he says you can still get some complete units, but just not the individual pieces like this. I think he said you can still get the evaporators and the heater core, but some individual plastic pieces are going obsolete for us. And you can see right again, there's those 4 screws, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5th one up there at the top. So that gives you an idea of what it looks like. So let's go back outside. And I was also thinking about, if I do this, I'll update, make another video, a way maybe to add some additional bracing somehow to support this a little bit better, because we've got all these metal brackets and stuff. If I could fasten something to this plastic securely enough that wouldn't break out, because there's quite a bit of weight. Look at that big plastic box that hangs down, and we're going down the road and that thing bumping and vibrating all the time. So we'll see if I can't make it a little bit better, because remember we only got 1 screw at the very top, so supporting the bulk of that weight. So that's something to think about. And I was pondering, I'm gonna do some experimentation, because I noticed with the engine was running, I'm still getting extremely hot temperatures, like 195 degrees on both of these lines right here where they go into the heater core. So I got to thinking, you know, if it would be a benefit to move this valve closer to the engine, way on back here, you know, because just because it shuts the water off at this point, there's still, you know, you got 195 degree water coming up to this valve, and I'm assuming it just transfers right on through. And I also thought of the idea, what if we put on 2 valves, so it blocked, because you still get pressure on this side here. I took it loose earlier, and you start the engine and water pours through this. So just because we shut off 1 valve, we still have hot water coming up the other way. It may not be circulating, but it's still there. And you know, hot chases cold, so maybe that could increase our performance slightly. So anyway, it was just some thoughts I had. I got some clamps. I'm going to experiment, maybe clamp it off farther back to the engine, let it run, and see if I can notice the temperature difference on these pipes up here. That may improve our cooling efficiency just a little bit. I'll get it out here in a minute. But anyway, I also wanted to point out, for a Workhorse W24, this is a Winnebago 2005. This is the model number of this airbox unit. I tracked it down years ago, and so I wrote it right on the box so I wouldn't lose it. Then I put me a piece of UPS tape on, clear tape on it, so it would protect it from the weather. And there's the phone number for Comfort Air if you do need parts. I believe, you know, like our resistors and relays, that kind of stuff is still available. For the plastic parts, I think have since went obsolete. And if you're wondering why I got Prestone green on here, I drained out and flushed out my Dex Cool and put in Prestone, just a regular antifreeze. I was having some issues with a bunch of gasket material. What would happen is I'd take this radiator cap off, and I'd have all these flakes of rubber material. I didn't know what was going on. I talked to a radiator guy, and he says that one reason they call Dex, instead of calling it Dex Cool, they call it Dex Kill, because it could eat up gaskets and cause problems. Even talk to Brazos. That's what Brazos RV, that's what they do. Whenever they have a Workhorse in that's got Dex Cool and they're doing a flush, they flush it and go back with just regular green. They don't go back with the Dex Cool. So that's what I did, and I did that, gosh, 6 years ago. I'm ready for a new flush, and it's been performing fine. But I guess that'll wrap it up. So if you got a Workhorse chassis, you want to go out here and check this box, see if it's good and tight. If it's a little loose, now you know what to do. Thanks for watching. Have a blessed day. Bye.